Hello and welcome. You're listening to Village Mama, a podcast that inspires us moms to pause in the midst of our busyness, to connect with each other, and to know that we are not alone on this parenting journey. My name is Charlex, and I'm a transformation coach and mom of two, and I create e-courses for busy moms to help guide them on their journey of self-discovery. Each week, I'm sitting down with moms to talk about their journey of parenting and the lessons that they have learned. I want you to consider this your community. I want you to consider us your tribe. Come on in and relax a bit because you are always welcomed in the Village Mama. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Village Mama podcast. I am so happy to have you here with me today. So why am I doing a podcast? Before I go there, I want to share with you the fact that I almost didn't. You see, I had this desire on my heart for years, and yet I allowed fear and doubt and worry and all of these other feelings to keep me frozen in my tracks. Now, I love to listen to podcasts, and I would hear all of these shows out there that sounded amazing and polished and professional, and I kept thinking to myself, well, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have a sound engineer, I don't have this, I don't have that, and all of those things were really what were keeping me just in this box of not even trying. And so then you have these limiting beliefs around doing this, and they're swirling around my mind, and I'm doing nothing. I am staying in my comfort zone, and I'm not trying this new thing that I really want to do. And so a few weeks ago, I was at a conference, and the speaker said, imperfect action is better than perfect plans. And I felt it in my gut. I felt it in my heart. I felt it in my head. I knew that message was meant for me. I'm sure it was meant for other people in the auditorium too, but my goodness, I needed to hear that. Seriously. And so I'm going to say it again because maybe somebody else out there needs to hear this message too. Imperfect action is better than perfect plans. So with this podcast, I am choosing to step into action, even if it's imperfect action. So back to why I'm doing this podcast. I really wanted to create a community where moms could share their stories, they could be authentic, and they can be real with each other. You see, way back in the day, I was always that mom in the playgroup who's like, dude, breastfeeding totally hurts, right? Or, is it just me, or is it really hard to potty train boys? I was always open to just being real about my experience as it was going along. And it was always nice when someone just reached out and said, yeah, Char, me too. I totally agree. I totally get it. I'm there, or I have been there, because then I didn't feel so isolated in my experience. But what I found really interesting back then, and I actually still do today, is when some moms only want to share their highlight reel. So whether it's the perfect family Facebook posts or the beautifully curated Instagram feed, and don't get me wrong, I love going through and seeing those pics and liking them, but I also want moms to be real about what life is actually like. Being a mom is hard. It's hard work, and we have our ups and we have our downs, and that's why I created this podcast. So who is it for? It's for moms who have a desire to be honest and authentic about our parenting experience. So whether you're driving somewhere or you're in the kitchen making supper, you can plug in, you can get connected, and you can have those, yeah, me too, parenting moments. So where did this idea of creating a community or a village come from? Well, I am from a tiny island in the Caribbean. It's 108 square miles and it has 365 gorgeous beaches. And yes, I've lived in Toronto, Canada for many years. That is my home. But a lot of my formative years I spent on this island. And I remember being a little girl and I remember watching and listening to the grown-ups. And what I saw were moms sitting around kitchen tables or on front porches. Moms who were sharing their experience. They were listening to each other. They were empathizing and just sitting with each other in the joyful moments, but also in those challenging moments too. Fast forward to this day and age, and I really feel we are all so busy. And I feel like we've lost this art of just sitting with each other in good and bad times. So that's why I wanted to create this space so that we can pause in the midst of our busyness and carve out some time to be real with each other. So we can share our authentic experience as moms with each other. And it's my hope that even in the simple telling of our stories, that other moms out there who are feeling like they're the only one who's going through that specific experience will know that they are not alone. Maybe something that's said in this podcast will be the words that they needed to hear, the thing that they needed to receive on that day, in that moment. And I hope that by listening in, you will feel encouraged, you will feel inspired, and you will feel affirmed in your parenting. I am so happy and grateful that this community is now open. I have yearned for a community like this for so long. And if you are out there and you have yearned for a community like this too, I hope that this will be a soft place for you to land and a good place for you to just hear others' hearts and be able to share yours too. I'm looking forward to sharing my stories, and I'm looking forward to hearing your stories. I am so glad that you are a part of this village, and I look forward to encouraging each other over the next while. You've now reached the end of another episode of Village Mama. If you're enjoying it, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and also give it a 5-star review on iTunes. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. So until next time, keep treating yourself and others with compassion and grace. Take care.